Can you feed yourself or starve yourself into a fight or flight stress response? Of course you can. Let's talk about it. Hi, I'm Dr. Lisa Ann Homick from Homick Advanced Chiropractic, and this is Brain Snob, episode 33. I want everyone to be a brain snob. Being a brain snob is not an insult. It is a high compliment, meaning you know how the brain works, so you can really harness your brain for amazing experiences because your brain makes your body, and now you make your life. A burdened brain is a disease magnet, not to mention lost talent. But a performing brain can change the world. So when you come to the office, you're going to grab your BFA template and the BFA map for the healing journey. What is BFA? Brain first always. That's the protocol I incorporate into chiropractic care that is that balances with chiropractic care so you have the best brain moving forward in life. So I wanted to talk about food. We know that there's three main stressors: mechanical stress, chemical stress, emotional stress. And chemical stress kind of takes a back seat. People don't really take it as seriously as mechanical stress and emotional stress. Mechanical stress everybody gets. Oh, I shoveled snow and I bent over and strained my back. Or I don't have good sleeping posture. I don't have good posture during the day at work, at my workstation. That's mechanical stress. And then emotional stress, we know it's there, but sometimes we don't know how to address it because it's sort of invisible. It's how you're dealing with people around you, how your relationships are, how are you meeting your financial needs and doing something that you feel is a contribution to society. Different stressors like that. It does affect your health and your body. But now today I want to talk about chemical stress, which is going to be anything you ingest or inhale or get on your skin. What's the word? Absorb. That's the word I'm looking for. But I want to focus on diet because your diet can put you in a state of fight or flight. Going back to my little diagram here, the fight or flight diagram, which is, I'm taking some of this from the polyvagal theory, as well as understanding how the brain works, how the limbic system works, and how we respond to chiropractic and putting that all together. But we know that if you're in the proper state of health, you're going to have a normal heart rate, normal respiration rate, proper digestion, and really efficient healing. But if you're in a state of fight or flight, your vagus nerve is shut down. Your vagus nerve is not going to be attending to those parts of your life. Your nervous system is going to be concerned with getting you out of danger. It will view modern stresses as danger or a threat. Our modern life is a little bit confusing to the body and assumes everything is life or death. And we have to really accommodate our nervous system and treat our nervous system well because all this stress does take a toll, and we don't want that to happen. So if you do not have normal body physiology because you're in the state of stress, things are going to not go so well if this stressful state is going on long term. Stress is meant to be short term, minutes, hours, brief. So on this side of my chart here, and you can get a copy of this when you're in the office, the fight or flight side. What happens when you're in fight or flight? Well, there is increased demand on your heart and your lungs and your muscles. So what happens? You have increased heart rate, increased respiration rate. Your digestion is going to slow down or stop, and you're not going to have proper elimination. Diet can affect that because there are definite foods that will increase your heart rate and cause all these changes in your digestion. So your heart rate goes up, and you can tell if you eat something that's high in carbs, raises your blood sugar, you're going to feel your heart racing, and your body is in a fight or flight state. Your body's trying to accommodate and deal with the influx of glucose, and it has to do that in an efficient manner. Otherwise, it's going to be detrimental to your health. And we have to keep the brain well oxygenated, but we need enough but not too much we need the glucose to be appropriate. But the body has to handle these things, and we have increased cortisol definitely when we have a stress situation, and that changes everything. That changes your hormones. It does change your insulin. It makes your insulin go up more. So you have increased inflammation, and we know there are certain foods that give you more inflammation, and that would be the starches, the grains, the legumes, the sugars, and we know that. So ingesting that, your body is fighting the traumatic impact. And so that sounds odd that your diet is going to put trauma on the body, but it does. It's going to cause leaky gut syndrome, and then you're going to have large particles of undigested food going into the bloodstream to the rest of the body, and then the immune system has to counteract that and try to shut down those particles and protect your joints from harm. So it is a state of trauma when you're eating foods that aren't cooperative in the body. So anything that's inflaming, anything that increases your glucose, and anything that makes your digestive system more irritated is going to put you in a state of fight or flight. Now, add that to mental stress. You're dealing with a difficult coworker, difficult boss, somebody in your family is ill, your schedule is changing because you've got to meet all these demands. That's stressful enough. And now your nutrition is also in a state of fight or flight. Your lack of nutrition and the overabundance of inflaming foods is traumatizing the body. How do you function? How do you accomplish your day when you have that extra trauma going on in your body? The brain suffers a lot because of that, and inflammation does change how your brain functions, and then it eventually can rewire it and make your brain take on patterns you don't like, uncomfortable patterns, frustrating patterns, discomforting patterns. So we don't want to pile on the stress. That means we have to be honest with the chemical stressors. And I know when I say chemical, you're thinking caffeine, alcohol, cigarettes. Yeah, they're just as bad too. But it's the dietary things, because we know we have to eat to live, but we're eating a lot of things that aren't required and definitely do not help us live. So take that into consideration when you're trying to understand the stress response on your body. We don't want to eat the foods that put us in fight or flight. And eventually some people develop over long-term autoimmune conditions, fibromyalgia, where they have real low energy. And that's because their digestion hasn't been healthy for a long time, and they develop an autoimmune response because of it. The inflammation is so ongoing, the body eventually reaches that tipping point of exhaustion. And that's over on this side of the diagram, freeze or faint. And that's when people have low blood pressure, and I mean really low. It may look healthy on your chart, your medical note, but if you don't understand why you have low blood pressure, then that's a problem as well. Low blood pressure and decreased respiration. And that's often coincides with depression, chronic fatigue, excessive sleep. Those are the people who sleep all the time and still don't feel refreshed and energized. So that's the other extreme of the stress response, because the body's so exhausted. And when you are lacking nutrients, a lot of the inflaming foods rob your body of nutrients, as well as medications. If you look up your medications online, you can find out what nutrients you are losing at a faster rate because you're taking medications. And when you have the nutrient deprivation, then you have the free radicals running rampant in the body, because the nutrients are supposed to neutralize those free radicals. And when you are lacking those nutrients, the body is suffering a double whammy. Not only is it inflamed, but it is just lacking in nutrients, that your body's in a starvation mode. And that tends to put your brain in a panic. Another way your brain goes in a panic is if you're dehydrated. You know how unwell you feel. If you're dehydrated, your brain has just lost it. The energy is gone, the concentration is gone. And that kind of stress, dietary stress and lack of nutrients, is going to be putting the brain in a fight or flight response as well. So we want to return to balance. We want to heal these issues. And the best way to do that is to take charge of the diet, take charge of your nutrition. And that is the part of Feed Your Brain. Remember, we have the 3 doorways. Move your brain, feed your brain, talk to your brain. And feeding your brain is fueling it with the proper food groups and making sure you have the nutrients. And our food supply is already depleted. That's a given. Our plant foods are on depleted soil. Our animals are raised on depleted soil, depleted plant foods. So we need to add things in. So you automatically have to supplement. Here's the problem. People don't know how to supplement and with what to supplement. So you learn that when you come in to the office as part of the BFA protocol. So let's dive into a better brain with better nutrition. How do we do that? We watch these videos and put comments in the comments section. Go to my blog, it's createpurpose.com, and watch the orientation video. And also click the like button on these videos, on the Brain Snob episodes. Subscribe, click on the subscribe button, click on the bell so you know when the new episodes are arriving to your computer. And be a brain snob so you can be a positive ripple effect in your community. Thanks for watching.